So I just want to touch on a couple things. I just came back from the grocery store. So I'm still healing from, the episode the other day. And so my social anxiety is up. It's very difficult going into a store. So anyways, on my way to the register, I saw my buddy's wife was in there. And Rebecca's a very nice girl. I always got along with her, always enjoyed our conversations. Me and her always got along. But it was so awkward. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I want, to establish, how my healing looks like. If I was expecting her to be in there and, I would have given her a hug like I always do. But man, it I don't know if she could tell, but, it just feels so awkward and weird because I can't have any human contact, because I'm still healing. So, yeah, so my social anxiety's still up. And I was looking, I texted the gentleman who I'm working for, and I don't think it's Monday. I think it's Tuesday I start that. So I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, not Monday and Tuesday. So that'll be nice. That'll give me an extra day to heal if that's the case. Yeah, so I want to just say that, that, man, it really just takes me time, like, from an episode like I had the other day to be able to heal enough to not have social anxiety that bad. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to point out is, so I ran through the years of after I had left and through the military and then through my first one. What I didn't mention was any of my family dynamics there. And I'm not going to go into any other family right now except for my brother and my mom. When I left at 16, I had a huge guilt on me because I left my brother. I knew my brother was going to be, everything was going to fall on his shoulders. So I carried that guilt with me my whole life, and shame. Me and my brother had talked about it, probably starting 10 years ago or whenever, and hashed it out, but it never really felt like we got to the root of it. You know what I mean? We were always drunk as fuck and just like, forgive and forget. And me and my brother, have always gotten along since and everything. But see, at the time, so I quit talking to my mom when I moved in with my aunt. But then when I got kicked out of my aunt's house, then I left my other aunt's house, and, shit started coming out about the bad shit I was doing and what I was running around acting like a little idiot. And, so I'm sure people were talking. And this is just me just trying to piece things together because, like, nobody will tell me anything, Everybody's hush-hush. I think everybody just looked at me as, like, I was just crazy. They had their minds made up. I was crazy. Which would make sense, My mom established a narrative. That would make sense. But this is what it sounds like the narrative is. But what happened was, so I wasn't talking to my mom, and then, somehow through that shame and guilt, and then I found my wife, and then she got pregnant, and then I was joining the military, and then all my concussions I was probably having at that time, God knows, with all the fights and everything crazy, and the alcohol poisonings, and the drugs, and everything else that was going on, somehow, and I don't know, this is why I'm saying this, because I don't know how, but in that whole fucking hurricane of time, I started talking to my mom, and of course she was ready, and she hooked me right back in, and I felt hook, line, and sinker. She came in between my marriage so hard, manipulating and just outright lying and controlling situations and pitting people against each other, and I mean, and that's just my mom. That's just how she is. Bad, though. But see, and the problem is I was only 18, 19 years old at the time, and I'm in the military, so I'm away, and, I put my wife in her hands. So it's a mess, is what I'm trying to say. It's a mess. And then, I can't even remember. It's such a mess. It takes such a toll on me, psychologically, religiously, spiritually, emotionally. I mean, it's, in every way, it takes such a big toll on me that I can't even unscramble how the games that it took to get to put the narrative together. And like, I mean, Stephen King had nothing on her. You know what I mean? Like, she's a novelist. Straight up novelist, man. She created a you know, unreal. And it's powerful. That is very powerful. That hoodwinking that she did, and that gaslighting that she's done, and that lying and manipulating is extremely powerful and reverberates to this day. Because just now, it lied so deeply under shame and guilt of mine that she had buried me under, that I didn't even, you know, it's like, you know these things, but you can't really understand them until you start getting, you know, you start peeling it away and getting honest and really digging at it. And the reason I mentioned her, is because of how I treated my brother. You know, which I haven't even gone into that. You know, I used to bully him. You know, as a child, I would bully him. And that's, see, me and my brother got along to a certain age till whatever my mom was doing to me. I think how it happened was I don't think she started off doing things to me. This is how I'm starting to uncover how this whole abuse system started. Is I was seeing that she was abusing my stepdad, because I would catch her, I would peek in and see her. And what she would do is yell and act like she was getting abused, when she was the one doing the abusing. And then I would watch her as she would lie to cops. And then I would watch her as she'd lie to me and my brother. And I know that had a big, I remember being pretty young. That started pretty young, you know, probably around 8 years old, which would make sense because I would feel like me and my brother were pretty tight up until then. And then I think when that happened, I think I started falling apart. But yeah, I used to verbally abuse my brother, physically abuse. We had you know, we lived out in the woods. I would tie him up to a tree and, you know, box him. You know what I mean? Just stupid shit. But bullying, you know, straight up bullying, taking out my aggression and you know, meanness. But so I haven't even mentioned, so it, you know, and then that was as a child. So then I dealt with the guilt, you know, but I ran away. But, you know, I loved my brother, you know what I mean? I took him with me at 12 years old and he was 10 and we ran away. And then, you know, so it was like I was in a position where I mean, what do you do? That's what I'm saying. Like, wow, man, these adults who do this to these children should be so ashamed of themselves. So, I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, you know, so that leads me up to when I came out of the military, my brother was coming to see me with his girlfriend. You know, they were young. They were, God, had to have been like 18, 19 years old at the time, you know, young. And, you know, poor as fuck and didn't have anything. But my brother, they were both smokers and smoked cigarettes. And my brother would ask me, and I was doing well, you know. And my brother would ask me for, you know, a few bucks for cigarette. And I wouldn't even give him that, you know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the abuse, like how we treat each other and how it just gets handed down. Like this from the self-righteousness. Like, because I didn't agree with smoking. I was like, dude, if you don't have money, why are you smoking? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I grew up, like, harsh. Like, fuck, you have nothing to fucking complain about, you know? If you are complaining, then you obviously have not taken advantage of your situation yet. So that's just the mindset I come from. But I realized the abuse, you know, and like I said, I've apologized to my brother, but, you know, I don't know how far that goes because, like, do we even realize the extent of that abuse, you know? Like I said, we say sorry for things that were life-altering, you know? And then we say, oh, that's okay, like it was nothing, man. And it was everything, you know? And, yeah, so... But, you know, a lot of families grew up fucked up. So I know, you know, and I know the pain, and I know the suffering, and I know the lies and the manipulations and making, you got to act, no, it's one thing, but you got to act like it's another, and then you got to change your story for every different person you're around, and then, you know, it's exhausting, man. But yeah, you know, this is just all coming back. And again, like I said, you know, I'm not trying to hate on my mom, but it is what it is. And she's a master manipulator. I mean, it's obvious. A master manipulator. Like the best of the best. You know, and the only way you could excuse that is if you thought she was fighting for her life, which I could see, you know, she was... But she put herself in these situations as far as I can tell. But then again, you know, I don't know what happened earlier. Like, when I'm barely putting it together, you know what I mean? And I do remember my distaste and distrust and realization and like my third eye opening to what was really the manipulation in this world happened when I would watch my mom. Like, I remember sitting there just in awe. Like, I couldn't even look away. Like, I would just sneak over and just find somewhere I could watch from and just watch her act like with the best actor in the world. And then call the cop and act like the best actor to the cop. And it was just amazing. It was like everything fell apart. And then, you know, after that, of course, you know, it was just amazing, you know. And then she would try to get my stepdad to beat us for being such bad little devils all the time, and then he would have to act like he was beating us, you know. And it's just like, damn, man, how fucked up was she? Like, was she possessed? Like, what the fuck was wrong with the bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some selfish ass, bitch ass fucking bullshit, man. Yeah. Crazy. That's some wrong fucking behavior, bud. You don't treat people like that ever, more or less, day in and day out, over and over. That's what I'm saying. Like, this was not just a one-off, guys. This was not just a here and there. This was master manipulation. This was getting what she wanted constantly, all the time, creating her scenario. Whether she knew it was, I don't know. Like, I can't speak for her. But I know she created what she wanted. She got exactly what she wanted. I know she molded me. Once my stepdad was out, she made sure my ass was completely molded and knew that I had nowhere to go. If I fucked up, I would be locked. I would be trapped. And the key thrown away. And I would die a lonely death. You know what I mean? That's how fucking crazy manipulative and scared. You know, she had us, or had me. And, I mean, you can tell I don't have a fucking problem speaking my shit. Even back then I did, you know, she had to break my ass, man. And she didn't break me, but what she did was I realized that I had no options. Like, I realized every adult that I even attempted to reach out to would not only side with her, but then everything would be worse afterwards. So, you know, by the age of 15, I was done. I was like, fuck, well, I think by the age of probably 14 and a half, you know, probably after the second time I ran away, I was like, fuck, that's it, you know. I think that's what it was. I think this after second time, because my grandmother was there whenever I think they got me back home. I can't remember, but somehow family involved again. But yeah, And I glossed over, you know, oh, did I even go over those years? See, maybe other shit's coming up. It's just coming up like a whirlwind because, you know, I'm realizing, like, the evilness that it would take to do that to a child. And then, like I said, I listened to that damn, not Lindsay Lohan, what's that, Jeanette McCurdy girl? I Heart Curly girl? Yep. I'm sure that's not it. But when I was listening to her speak for those 3 minutes and how, I mean, everybody was around her. Everybody was around her mom. She was in the public eye. Everybody could see her, but nobody knew the abuse and the manipulation and the fucking terror her mom was putting her through. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's crazy, man. Like, that's crazy. I can't even wrap. It's like having your own little slave, your own little terror robot. You know what I mean? That's crazy, guys. This is crazy. Oh my God, that's so sickening, man. That's so sickening. And it gave me validation or whatever, yeah, whatever you want to say, because like, you know, my sisters have no clue with the abuse that I said. They have no fucking clue. My brother, you know, I've tried talking to my brother, but you know, this is what happened. So when I left, my mom was scared because, so my aunt got off the phone after telling, my mom said, you know, I'm going to call the cops. And my aunt was like, well, hold on. So she got off the phone with my mom, and my aunt looked at me and she said, you better tell me, you know, are you fucking around? You know, is your mom really abusing you? What's going on? And I said, and I was so scared, guys. I gave out the bare minimum. I said, I think I said, you remember that time? Yes. I said, do you remember that time when my cousin died and I had those black eyes and my face was all fucked up? And she goes, yeah, and you got in that fight? And I said, and she goes, that was your mom? And I said, yeah. And she didn't say another word. She called my mom back and she said, Tina, I would suggest you don't even try. And my mom never even tried. And that's what I'm trying to say. After that, she never even tried. Never heard from her until like the guilt was set back on me. She was just sitting there waiting like a spider in her web, waiting, you know, for me to come back through guilt and shame that she had planted. You know what I mean? As her little slave robot, her little MK Ultra experiment. You know what I mean? And I don't even know where I was going. It's so mind fucked. It's so confusing what she did to me. It's fucked up, man. It's really fucked up. She is so nasty and dirty. She even tried, I mean, even with my kids, like I had to cut her off, dude. Like, even with my kids, she called my kids like evil little liars or whatever the last thing I was like, what the fuck, bitch, is wrong with you? So your grandkids, you dumb bitch. You're the only one fucking talking about them like that. You know what I mean? Like, she's that fucking mind controlling, man. She's a fucking master manipulator, dude. So, yeah. That needs to be said. I mean, people go around and act like she's a little Christian and I'm a little heathen and they're praying for me and putting spells and hexes and curses on me and praising my mom and saying, how they feel for having such a terrible. I mean, it's weird, guys. This is weird behavior. That's what I'm saying. If I don't say that how I was abused, like people were going around praising this woman and acting like I'm a fucking asshole. I am an asshole, but not like that. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get it out there, man. And it's just sickening how, and that's what got me really upset is because I remember how I treated my brother when I came back from the military, and I was a prick. I was a prick because I became super soldier from my mom. You know what I mean? That's what she did. I became super soldier for her. I became her little super soldier because I just wanted to defend her, and she used me against my brother. She got me in a couple huge arguments with him, and then, you know, and then like I said, I didn't even have the fucking common decency and fucking courtesy and humanness to fucking, You know what I mean? So she came between everything. She completely ruined my first marriage. Completely ruined my relationship with my brother. And then I didn't even end up talking to my brother until I think I didn't talk to him for like a long, long time after that. You know? So, yeah, man, these people, it's just weird. Like, how can you live a life and act so different than everybody else and know that you're, like, got a puppet on a string that you're ruling through terror and threats? Man, weird. But yeah, I had to get that one out. Crazy.